Some people are just meant to be in your life.
You didn't choose the hero life, Barry, but Eobard Thawne made sure you would become what he swore to destroy. Being the fastest man on Earth isn't always easy, but you and your friends from Star Labs make it work. You're constantly up against some mighty strong metahumans, but you always come out swinging. So tell us the truth, Barry. How confusing is it to deal with multiple timelines all at once? Because all these crossovers has got our heads spinning. Keeping up with the Arrowverse timelines can seem like an impossible task, but once you know which order to watch the shows in and which crossovers to expect, all the puzzle pieces fall into place. We're about to reveal the complete Arrowverse timeline, so don't go anywhere. But be warned, this video is loaded with spoilers. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's jump right in.
Don't hold back, especially against me.
Yes, sir.
Arrow. The Arrowverse is a complicated realm, and its content can give viewers a huge headache if they don't watch the series in the right order. The best place to start is by watching Arrow. Makes sense, right? It is called the Arrowverse after all. Arrow first premiered in October of 2012. The first episode laid down the foundation for other DC series to come. In the pilot, we find out about Oliver Queen's quest shortly after he is rescued from a deserted island. And we also find out about the lists and how Oliver is on a journey to right his father's wrongs.
Stand still!
The first season of Arrow was so well received that a second season followed shortly after, and here's where things got interesting. Writers got the idea to introduce Barry Island to the plot in hopes of creating a spin-off series, and fans ate it up. It was later revealed that The Flash would receive a backdoor pilot during his second season of Arrow, and in December of 2013, Grant Gustin made his grand debut in the episode titled The Scientist.
I'm Barry Allen. I'm from the Central City Police Department. I'm with the crime scene investigation.
In the second part of that episode, Barry saved Green Arrow's life after finding out his true identity, and a great friendship was formed. At this point, Barry is just your average dorky guy, but once he gets back home to Central City, a lightning bolt strikes his room and everything goes dark. And that's when the Flash and Green Arrow's story starts to weave itself together. The Flash. In 2014, just 2 years after Arrow became an instant hit, the first season of The Flash hit the small screen. To clear things up, Arrow was entering its third season at this time. In total Arrow fashion, Barry Allen narrates his pilot episode. He brings us 14 years into the past, to the night of his mother's murder, and fills us in on his journey thus far.
Never imagining that I would become the impossible.
And once we have enough information on the future hero, we finally find out what happened to him after the lightning bolt pulverized his bedroom at the end of Arrow's Three Ghosts episode. As it turns out, 9 months have passed since Barry saved Oliver Queen, and Barry spent all of his time in a coma. By the time Arrow enters its third season, it is up to par with The Flash's timeline, and it remains that way from then on. The first official Arrow Flash crossover happens in Season 1, Episode 8 of The Flash. The two-night crossover takes place on both series. The first episode, The Flash vs. Arrow, aired on The Flash, whereas the second episode, The Brave and the Bold, aired on Arrow.
You were wrong. When you told me I could inspire people, you said you couldn't.
In these crossover episodes, Rainbow Raider forces the Flash and Arrow to fight each other, but the heroes soon team up and take him and Boomerang down. This crossover episode was such a hit, the CW quickly realized that crossovers were the way to go. So the network set their sights on creating 2 brand new series that would eventually tie into Arrow and The Flash, and that's when things went from mildly confusing to severely complicated. Supergirl. In the spring of 2015, the CW's sister network, CBS, decided to experiment with a superhero series of their own, and that's when Supergirl was born.
I was sent to protect Earth, and that's what I'm gonna do.
At first, the networks didn't have any intentions of crossing Supergirl with Arrow or The Flash, but in the end, they just couldn't resist. Since Supergirl belonged to a different network and was filmed in Los Angeles instead of Vancouver, coordinating crossovers were a bit of a challenge. But they made it work. Supergirl premiered just as Season 4 of Arrow was wrapping up, which was midway through The Flash's second season. Fans of Barry Allen and Kara Danvers celebrated the crossover that occurred in Season 1, Episode 18 of Supergirl. And once again, both networks were astounded at the high ratings they received as a result. In the episode titled World's Finest, Barry Allen accidentally travels to Earth 38's National City while working on the Tachyon prototype.
How did you do that?
I'm Supergirl.
What first started as a ploy to increase his speed ends with Barry helping Kara defeat Silver Banshee and Livewire. Once the foes are defeated, Kara helps Barry get home, and it's as if he never left. This marked the beginning of The Flash and Supergirl's awesome friendship. It was so fun to see these former Glee stars come face to face on DC soil. We'll explain which heroes come from which Earths at the end of this video, so stay tuned. Legends of Tomorrow. If fans of the Arrowverse wanted to watch the shows in perfect order, they would have to first watch Seasons 1 and 2 of Arrow, and then watch Season 3 of Arrow and Season 1 of The Flash at the same time. Afterwards, they'd need to watch Season 4 of Arrow, and top things off with watching Season 2 of The Flash and Season 1 of Supergirl. Evidently, keeping the correct order can be quite the challenge, but those who do get to see the timeline come together perfectly. Once viewers get to Season 5 of Arrow, Season 3 of The Flash, and Season 2 of Supergirl, they can finally celebrate, because all three shows now exist on the same timeline, and that's when Legends of Tomorrow comes in. Season 1 of Legends of Tomorrow aired in the winter of 2016.
Of all the people who ever lived, I chose you 8. I certainly hope that you won't let me and the world down.
And once the first season concluded, it would be up to par with the other shows in the Arrowverse. The pilot episodes of Legends of Tomorrow crossed over with the Arrow during its 4th season, and would go on to have another 3 crossover episodes with Arrow during the same season. There are some major benefits to watching the DC shows in perfect order, one of them being that by the time Legends of Tomorrow rolls around, viewers already know a handful of the characters. Captain Cold and Heatwave both appear in The Flash before becoming main cast members in Legends of Tomorrow. And then there's Professor Martin Stein and Jefferson Jackson, who are also introduced in The Flash. Once they join forces to become 2 halves of Firestorm, these 2 characters go on to join the casts of Legends of Tomorrow. And then there are 2 deceased Arrow characters, Sarah Lance and Ray Palmer, who get resurrected before becoming prime members of the Legends. So if viewers do indeed watch the series in perfect order, they'll know these characters' backstories, and Legends of Tomorrow will make a lot more sense. Multi-show crossovers. As previously mentioned, Supergirl aired on CBS, whereas the other 3 shows aired on the CW. This made Supergirl crossover episodes a lot more challenging to film. Both networks were sure that crossovers were off the table, but in the summer of 2016, just as Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl were wrapping up their first seasons, CBS chose to move Supergirl to the CW. So this meant all 4 shows would be filmed in Vancouver, making it easier to film multi-show crossover episodes. In Season 2 of Supergirl, Kara managed to fly through a breach to Earth 1.
That was cool.
Where she helped the Flash and Green Arrow fight off the invading Dominator aliens. This 3-night crossover aired on The Flash, and then Arrow, and lastly on Legends. While it didn't appear on Supergirl, Kara Danvers was a part of all 3 episodes. At this point in the timeline, Arrow was on its 5th season, The Flash was on its 3rd, and Supergirl and Legends were on their 2nd. Crisis on Infinite Earths. All 4 shows would go on to have dozens of crossover episodes, all of which received amazing reviews, but it looks like the CW is about to welcome a new show into the mix. However, they have stressed that Black Lightning doesn't belong to the Arrowverse. Still, fans aren't convinced since Black Lightning will be included in the multi-show crossover, Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is all set to start airing on December 8th, 2019. But Black Lightning isn't the only new series that will be joining the multi-show crossover, as Batwoman will also join the party. Now that we have a better grasp on the Arrowverse timeline, let's take a look at the many Earths our heroes are sworn to protect. The Multiverse. The multiverse is home to an endless amount of parallel universes, and our heroes have traveled between these worlds on more than one occasion.
All of these Earths occupy the same place in space, but they vibrate at a different frequency, so they can't see one another.
So let's kick off things with Earth 1, which is where 3 of the major DC series take place. Arrow, The Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow all exist on Earth 1's timeline. Then there's Earth 2, a parallel world that shows its many faces in Season 2 of The Flash. This is where Zoom is from. It is also home to Dr. Harrison Wells, the one who didn't get killed and replaced by Eobard Thawne. Jessie Wells also hails from Earth 2. However, she chooses to reside in Earth 3 alongside Henry Allen's doppelganger. After Earth 3, there's a significant jump to Earth 38, which is home to the notorious Kara Danvers. We also know of Earth 53, commonly referred to as Earth X. which was introduced in the 2017 crossover episode Crisis on Earth X. Are you still with us? Because there's more. Now let's not forget about Earth 4 to 52. Although they are not commonly referenced, they do exist. We know that Harrison Wolfgang Wells comes from Earth 12, as shown in Season 4 of The Flash. Then there's the Wizard, Wells the Grey, who comes from Earth 13 and also pops up in Season 4 of The Flash. Cisco Ramon's ex-girlfriend Olivia comes from Earth 16, and Earth 19 is where Cisco's girlfriend Gypsy is from. Cisco also briefly dates a handful of girls from Earths 35, 37, 47, and 48. As you can see, the multiverse is a very complicated place. It might even be more complicated than the Arrowverse itself. Luckily, the writers of the Arrowverse know what they're doing and continue to throw new and exciting Earths our way. Are you excited to watch the multi-show crossover, Crisis on Infinite Earths? Tell us in the comments, and while you're at it, tell us which Arrowverse series is your favorite. And that's a wrap. Thanks for watching The Things. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. We'll see you next time.